Our theme: separation of worlds. The consciousness body of the Earth has evolved beyond third-dimensional frequencies, opening up new future timelines in higher dimensions. The negative alien agenda, however, is invested in maintaining the lower frequencies and timelines by any means, including inorganic artificial intelligence technology. The result is that the organic timelines in the first density of matter on the third-dimensional Earth are coming to an end. In the structure of harmonic universes, there are 2 timelines per dimensional octave. So within the structure of the harmonic universe of third-dimensional Earth, called the first density, consciousness exists within 3 dimensions that manifest into 6 timelines. From now on, these 6 timelines are being hijacked by the negative alien agenda and inorganically pushed to manifest in the lowest third-dimensional frequencies through artificial intelligence technology. Because the consciousness body of the Earth plane has organically evolved to run higher than third-dimensional frequencies, the only way to keep circulating these lower forces into the Earth grid is through forced, inorganic, and artificial means. Thus, to keep the low electromagnetic energies and the mind control programs circulating and operating in the asleep masses, artificial frequencies and artificial timelines are being written and pulsed out into the lowest frequency fields. These last-ditch efforts create a tremendous electrical pressure and burden on some areas of the planet. This is similar to how piezoelectric compressors are used for energy conversion in solid materials by squeezing and compacting matter to extract a high-pressure electrical charge. Many of us can feel this sensation of electrical pressure and compaction in our bodies at this time. This current cycle finalizes the bifurcation in time between the type of matter formed on the third-dimensional Earth and the type of matter formed on the fifth-dimensional Earth. The easiest way to comprehend this is that the planet is shifting timelines into the next density that opens into future time, which exists in much higher dimensional spaces. The way the human mind directs intelligent consciousness energy to manifest into matter forms is forever changed on planet Earth. The separation of worlds delineates the morphogenetic blueprint barrier between first density creations in the third dimension and second density creations in the fifth dimension and above. There is a bifurcation in the planetary field between creations, or bodies, formed in the third dimensional frequencies in telluric matter, and those creations and bodies formed above those frequencies. Essentially, there is a frequency split occurring at the subatomic level of the blueprint of consciousness that is inherently connected to everything in creation. There are groups of humans that are connected to a third-dimensional morphogenetic blueprint, and there are groups of humans connected to a fifth-dimensional morphogenetic blueprint. Further, the first ascension waves of star seeds and indigos are holding a blueprint beyond the fifth dimension, where the God sovereign free timelines for full liberation of consciousness exist. Starseed groups are also holding both the galactic shield and Christos shield for the Earth, as she undergoes the current phase of the separation of worlds occurring at the subatomic level. The core manifestation template or blueprint is what genetically expresses our DNA into matter, creates human bodies, and projects holographic realities. The frequency split is delineated by what is being created organically in consciousness, by what embodies or holds spirit, by the vibrational quality of the mind that created it, by what dimensional laws of structure it is subjected to, and by whether artificial intelligence is being used. On the ascension path, we will be asking the question, is the consciousness that created these blueprints an organic living consciousness, or is it an inorganic artificial intelligence software projecting out these holograms? We are entering a whole new world in the way types of matter are being formed. With pure intention and pure heart, we must access crystal clear intention through all things that we co-create with God's Spirit in order to manifest from the higher dimensions with personal responsibility, purpose, and energetic balance. Subatomic frequency split. Further, the separation of worlds is splitting apart the subatomic energetic fields that have been created between the inorganic frequencies and organic living light consciousness. The separation is occurring between the dead energy, also called miasma, that is projected out by the negative alien agenda through the use of artificial intelligence, military machinery, and the organic living consciousness bodies that exist in the higher dimensions of future timelines. The quality and kind of consciousness, organic or inorganic AI, that is being directed into blueprints to create something in the planetary hologram is what determines the level of its frequency when it materializes. The frequency level of these forms is what attracts people of matched frequency to share that same timeline and be connected to that structure in time, which creates a corresponding reality bubble. The type and quality of subatomic units that form the blueprint create the design of that body. The subatomic units decide what dimensional law governs how that body is projected into the planetary hologram. Many of the entities that exist within the Earth plane are made of different subatomic units. Thus, they cannot be perceived by most humans in matter. At each station of identity, whether human or non-human, that being exists in a particular dimension of time and space, and its body form changes at the subatomic level based on its location. However, that body form projection and its timeline can be artificially created and replicated by machinery at the subatomic level to force it to be somewhere else. The negative alien agenda are attempting to use technologies at the subatomic scale to accomplish their goal of creating artificial timelines for their transhumanism and hybridization projects. With artificial timelines, they can clone or replicate DNA, or soul capture images and then project them into a specific location by matching the frequency of their target at the subatomic scale. Further, they are attempting to stuff entities with different subatomic units into human bodies, using mostly those being hybridized with technology or running predominantly artificial frequencies. With energetic discernment, this can be easily sensed or felt. When body forms are replicated at subatomic levels, they are extremely low frequency, with no heart, no compassion, no empathy. In whatever form that body takes, it will feel artificial, dead, and lifeless. Biological hacking. Biohacking is produced by alien machinery and artificial intelligence technology that function similarly to how quantum computers hack into biological code programming, generally to damage DNA from functioning properly. The hacking occurs at the biological blueprint and electromagnetic level to push humans to run assorted artificial frequencies in their body without their awareness or consent. Thus, humans become the dark portal for artificial frequencies and can be easily hijacked by dark forces, becoming a pawn in the game for progressing transhumanism, cloning, or body snatching. Artificial frequencies are being coded into many easily available consumer products such as tobacco cigarettes, e-vapor cigarettes, alcohol, synthetic marijuana, bath salts, marijuana edible candies, and other recreational herbal drugs. By pushing the increased exposure to these consumer drugs, along with environmental saturation of chemtrails, vaccinations, toxic chemicals, GMO, pharmaceuticals, cell phones, polluted water and air, the artificial frequencies have resonance inside the human body while they are being continually exposed. These many combinations of artificial frequency exposure have very destructive impacts on the mind, body, and spirit, and should be completely avoided when possible. It is high-risk behavior to consume any kind of influential substance to which the person loses consciousness, experiences altered consciousness, or is exposed to artificial frequencies that induce the addiction matrix. Many consumer products or plant substances being promoted in New Age and spiritual communities are designed to activate latent addiction behavior, to keep the person on the hamster wheel of addiction, looping in some kind of destructive behavior or bad habit. The primary goal for the negative alien agenda at this time is to get humans to run as much artificial frequency throughout their body as possible, to infect their process of thinking and brain function, to transition easily to hive mind control programs. If a person is saturated with artificial frequencies, they become very low frequency. This low frequency impacts the quality and substance of their thoughts until the thoughts become totally artificially generated. Their thoughts will not be their own, and they may perceive false holograms or receive false messages directing them to create harm to themselves or others. Artificial thought forms connect to the AI-generated hive mind control, which can generate swarm intelligence when large groups of people are connected into it. Swarm intelligence is the collective behavior of decentralized, self-organized systems that happen in natural environments like ant colonies or are induced through artificial means. Swarm intelligence can be used to collect artificial frequencies to manifest artificial or virtual realities for projecting holograms, so that a group of people believe that it is real. Also, what may be noticed with swarm intelligence is that the exact same automatic phrases or verbatim responses are given as pre-programmed solutions to answer the same problem. Pre-programmed answers are presented as the solution. Don't look here, look over there. And this is made especially clear in unapproved areas of media or public discussion with people that have mind slides. The repeated phrases are programmed robotic responses that feel artificial and odd, as they come from different people but are actually connected to the same artificial frequencies of that particular swarm intelligence. The glazed over look in the eyes can be seen in many public people. Clearly, swarm intelligence and hive mind programs are the byproduct of insectoid genetics, furthered through experiments with insectoid human alien hybridization and MyLabs. It is fine for insects to act in swarms, but this is not natural or related to the original human consciousness design. Descending realities are AI generated. The negative alien agenda and power elite do not want the human population to evolve into the higher frequencies and access the organic future timelines available now. To counteract the ascending planetary shift and cloak the bifurcation event, They have aggressively pushed every chaotic distraction along with the transhumanist agenda to maintain an iron grip over the human population. The transhumanist agenda is evident in every form of biological and consciousness hacking through technological, synthetic, and digitized methods to try and take over the consciousness energy that exists in organic matter. To maintain control over matter, they have introduced an ever more aggressive military strategy that is enforced through both alien and human created artificial intelligence technology. This combined strategy is to generate the range of artificial frequencies and brain mapping technology that replicate the entire Earth realm in virtual realities, through which they hope to have ultimate control. This is so the majority of people on Earth cannot tell the difference between AI-generated artificial frequencies and the planet's organic frequencies, dead light versus living light, while they are existing within the artificial holographic reality. These are the descending timelines on planet that run lower frequencies of artificial, phantom, and false realities that are generated by alien technologies using false holograms of dead light. Smashing protons and electrons into frequency fences or metal plates is one way to generate false light fields and inorganic black holes. As many of us know, the artificial intelligence and artificial frequencies have radically increased in some environments, and these may have extreme physical sensations for an ascending human. These artificial frequencies are the recipe for creating human zombies or cyborgs, or a person who is extinguished of all inner light. A location such as a city that is a descending hub area will have these common low-frequency symptoms, riddled with crime and negativity, perpetuating harmful or destructive actions towards self and others. The land will feel dead or barren, will become increasingly less stable politically and economically, and this will be socially reflected through the communities. We have come to understand more deeply that many of these frequencies being intentionally generated towards the public are artificially generated. For a person who is wearing their 12D shield, the frequency of alien machinery and negativity will feel appallingly amplified, and energetic discernment will be made very clear. For a person who is disconnected and internally miserable, they will be unable to discern the energetic terrain. Most likely, they will resonate with that low energy location based on their own unresolved emotional conflicts, suffering, and cultural preferences. A human that chooses to connect to the eternal God Spirit is aligned to the mechanics of living light consciousness, which interconnect the mechanics of time and space made in universal law. The laws will always protect that human, while in any dimension or timeline, when making the conscious choice. This choice comes from deep within the heart of a loving, compassionate, and empathic person, and not the mind. AI intentionally bends universal laws through forced light refraction, holographic inserts, and replication of DNA code that is designed to enslave the people on Earth through deception and trickery. This is why we must choose our consent and authority now, during the height of the spiritual battle. Commanding our personal space and spiritual right in universal law to exist as sovereign and free human beings in the reality that we take full personal responsibility to co-create. We are entering a surreal time that determines what kind of consciousness reality holograms we are going to be involved with or not. Ascending realities teeming with living consciousness and spirit, or descending and dead artificial realities. With the current rollout of the transhumanist agenda using artificial intelligence software systems, there will be many more artificially projected holographic realities and AI technologies than ever before. Any human or group that involves themselves in the artificial realities of AI holograms will be subjected to its law of structure, which are the rules programmed in the machine and the creator's intent for that holographic software program. This defines servitude to the machine. This is the war over consciousness on Earth, over how we accept personal responsibility and how we participate in the hologram. We either accept full responsibility for our consciousness and want to commune with the living spirit in all things, or we give away our consent and personal power to the AI machines to take full control over our life. Telluric current. A telluric current, or earth current, is an electrical current which moves underground through the sea and through ley lines. Telluric currents result from both natural causes, human activity, and potentially from artificially generated frequencies which all interact in a complex pattern. These currents are extremely low frequency and travel over large areas at or near the surface of the Earth. Telluric current runs within the harmonic scale of the planetary fields generated in the first, second, and third dimensions. These currents have daytime characteristics, wherein the general direction of flow is towards the sun. Telluric currents continuously move between the sunlit and shadowed sides of the Earth toward the equator on the side of the Earth facing the sun during the day, and towards the poles on the night side of the planet. When the telluric current passes through the Earth substrata, it generates a low-frequency window that acts as conductor for carrier wave frequencies. This is more amplified in strong daylight hours with bright sunshine and no clouds. Sunlight can be directed to power AI technology, which moves in frequency carrier waves with the telluric current towards the equator line. The equator is the area of the planet where the negative alien agenda base themselves in order to harvest vast amounts of energy gathered there in daylight hours. We will notice the artificial frequencies are much stronger during the day, when there is strong sunshine, bright light, and radiant heat, rather than at night. During this phase, AI technology is being used to take over the lower three dimensions and their spectrums of frequency that exist as telluric or earth current. This means that in the lowest frequency dimension, the things that are manifesting in matter, whether realities or bodies, will be synthetic and created from an AI mind. Anything that is manifested from artificial intelligence technology, such as synthetic bodies, are dead energy. This type of body cannot hold God's Spirit in its cells. At this time, as an awakened spiritual being, it is more important than ever to command your personal space and to dedicate your life force completely to your spiritual development, to serve organic, living consciousness. To do so is to maintain sovereignty by taking personal responsibility to play by your own rules in the consciousness structure that is governed by your highest power in God's Spirit. Moving into the next density. Our planet Earth exists in three main formed identities in this universal time matrix. The third dimensional Earth is called Earth or Terra. Fifth dimensional Earth is called Tara. And seventh dimensional Earth is called Gaia. Different extraterrestrial races and extra-dimensionals may call these future Earths by different names based on their language. They are all planet Earth at different stages of evolution in the timelines. The parallel Earths, fifth dimension and seventh dimension, exist in the future on higher scales of frequency that control what type of matter is being formed there. In higher dimensions and higher densities, the type of matter on a planet evolves to lesser states of density, yet there is still a form. Our form may shift into less density, but it still looks similar in appearance to the type of body we have on Earth now. What type of matter and density one takes on is connected to the location of time and space, future timelines, and where the identity of that person is in the future. The third dimensional Earth exists at the lowest possible density of matter. That comprises the lowest three spectrums of frequency throughout the universal scale. We have come to recognize these lowest three frequencies are connected to the first, second, and third layer of our chakra system. Together, these three frequencies manifest the collective horizontal network of telluric earth currents that also function in the ley lines that manifest timelines on the third dimensional Earth. So when we only use these first three chakras, our consciousness is trapped in the lowest frequencies available in our body. And it keeps us locked into the third dimensional location of time and space. At this level of negative ego mind, we become locked into the density of matter and trapped in the third dimensional cycles of time. Because these three frequencies are earth currents, they are comprised of very dense subatomic particles that have formed physical matter on the third dimensional earth plane. Each of these three frequencies also represent subatomic particles, which are particles that are much smaller than an atom. An atom is the smallest unit of ordinary matter that has the properties of a chemical element. The number of protons in the nucleus define what chemical element the atom belongs to. So, when protons are added, it completely changes the atomic structure. Subatomic properties of the atom are broken down into smaller units of the family of protons, electrons, and neutrons. If the number of the protons and electrons are equal, that atom is electrically neutral. This is key to understanding how to expand human consciousness. When we become capable of holding the neutral field between balanced protons and electrons, our energetic aura and body become free of lower frequency limitations, and we move to the next higher frequency instruction sets. This is the ascension process we undergo to shift into the next density. In the third dimensional Earth, the first dimensional frequency is the proton, which is related to gross matter and gravitational force. The second dimensional frequency is the electron, related to antimatter and the rate of spinning electrons. The third dimensional frequency is the neutron, related to dark matter, superluminosity functions, and particle conversion. Together, these three spectrums of frequency run telluric current and create the collective horizontal network and the collective egoic personality body on the third dimensional Earth plane, called the telluric shield. At this time, during the bifurcation, the negative alien agenda and power elite are doing everything they can to take over the telluric shield in the third dimensional Earth body and control it through artificial intelligence, mind control, frequency nets, and alien technology. These areas of the Earth are recognized as the descending areas or descending zones. This is because there are a great many people on Earth that are still very attached and engaged with the third dimensional realities and feeding their consciousness into that extremely low frequency. Ascension is a conscious choice taken by the individual, and that choice is not interfered with. On the other hand, the ascending population of Earth will be moving en masse to the next density in the harmonic scale of frequencies. For most groups, this will change the position in time of their matter blueprint from the telluric shield to ascend their subatomic particles to connect with the tribal shield of the fifth dimension. For some people, they will not be running first dimensional, second dimensional, or third dimensional current any longer, but will be replaced by the next density of fourth dimensional, fifth dimensional, and sixth dimensional current. Others will undergo gradual frequency upgrade so that their body can comfortably adjust to these new frequencies, which replace the third dimensional proton, electron, and neutron structure with its higher fifth dimensional version. This equals the planetary consciousness shift from matter density to semi-etheric matter density. For starseeds and indigos, this will change the position of our matter forms from the tribal shield to either the galactic shield or Christo shield. which also has locations in time. Many of us have been energetic placement holders of the human tribal shield to keep it available for the ascension event happening during this blood moon cycle. Each of the ascending waves have different subatomic particle structures that span from semi-etheric and etheric to pre-matter states of consciousness units. This shift to the next density will radically impact our consciousness experience while in our body. For those on the ascending path, the laws governing intelligent energy that create matter and realities is elevating into the next density. This event should greatly support restoring energetic balance into all of the bodies, experiencing more peace and ease in our lives while feeling much less dense than before. Previously, we were all born into the third-dimensional earth and connected into the telluric shield through our morphogenetic blueprint at the time of incarnation. The elemental particles of our body were designated into a timeline governed by the proton, electron, and neutron structure that existed in the laws of the third dimension through telluric current. This timeline in the third-dimensional particle structure is ending on the earth. Yet, those who are resisting and do not want to evolve are fighting hard to keep it operating. During the ascension cycle, the elemental particles of our body are changing at the subatomic and atomic levels along with our expanding consciousness. We are becoming less dense at the physical level. What we perceive as solid in the holographic reality is based upon the level of DNA we have activated. Depending on the shift made to the next density, many on the ascending path will naturally undergo slight to moderate levels of DNA activation. This means that certain wavelengths of light that were not previously seen as solid may start to be seen as solid forms, or in some kind of form that you did not perceive before in the lower dimensional scale. This shift to the next density is increasing the materialization of both planetary miasma and individual miasma, which are the inherited and genetic patterns recorded in our cellular matrix that impact the physical body and spiritual energetic bodies. Many of us will notice an increase in these miasmas, which will appear to be disease patterns surfacing now for us to become aware of. This is due to the genetic and inherited weakness from our family of origin surfacing in our body that is revealing to show us the area of the recorded miasma. When addressing bodily changes, which can be intense during this time, stay calm and peaceful. Ask your body, consciousness, and inner spirit to show you the source of the miasma, the timeline to clear it, and what you can do directly to participate with the healing of miasma. We will be addressing individual miasma, family of origin miasma, collective humanity miasma, and planetary miasma at the level of our spiritual consciousness and what our body can handle. Miasma patterns accumulate every 7 to 9 years of the biological life cycle, so our current biospiritual marker will also be relative to the level of accumulative miasma we will be addressing now. What is miasma? Miasma is a psycho-spiritual inherited distortion created by trauma, abuse, toxins, fear-based belief systems, and soul fragmentation, which, over time, was genetically encoded in human DNA and has resulted in various forms of disease and energetic imbalance. These disease patterns are energetic blockages in our body and are encoded and passed down in negative ego behaviors or flawed DNA code design from generation to generation. When miasma patterns accumulate and grow larger in the collective consciousness of humanity, they take on energetic form like an entity, and they can exist within energetic bodies that have some form of intelligence. Thus, miasma in energetic form can be influenced or possessed by larger entity bodies, such as fallen angelics or the negative alien themselves. The miasma pattern is interconnected to the vibrational theme of that particular entity, and when interaction with that vibration occurs, the miasma pattern can be passed on to the person through vibrational resonance. Genetic alteration to the human DNA code creates inherited diseases and negative behaviors such as the addiction matrix, which are aggressively promoted by the negative alien influence on the earth. Levels of the distorted behavioral patterns pass down toxic exposures and flawed DNA are recorded in the cells as the miasma pattern, which may result in a dissipation of the original form of the disease through each generation of offspring. The manifested disease energy and its physical body pattern sometimes skip generations and can show themselves in another form, but are still sourced from the original disease pattern inherited as the miasma from the ancestor. The dissipated energetic pattern is recorded in the cellular memories from the ancestry or family of origin at the source, including when the original disease pattern materialized. This record of miasma continues to manifest in the future generations in lesser ways or mutates into hybridized forms of accumulated new miasma that can create new disease patterns. Pathologies do not all present or progress the same way in all people. The miasma pattern, trauma issues, and unique soul blueprint are all intimately connected to form the state of the progression of the imbalanced pattern that produces miasma. This is true whether it started in the physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual bodies. This is why taking the time to make deep inquiries into understanding oneself at these levels is critically important to spiritual healing. Family of origin miasma. When accumulated miasma patterns are inherited from both patriarchal and matriarchal lines, it can also create new mutations of diseases in the offspring. We may notice in current times, with massive amounts of accumulated miasma remaining uncleared in the planet, that many new mutations and diseases are manifesting that the medical system cannot diagnose or comprehend the source of. In the beginning ascension stages As an initiate for soul accretion, the person will start to notice the energetic connections of ancestral lines inherited through our biological family lines. When we can recognize these patterns, we are seeing the genetic miasma that sources directly from the histories of the bloodline and family of origin. As we become more conscious on the ascending path, we experience and become aware of how miasma has direct influences upon our person. It impacts everything in our life and influences what manifests in our holographic reality until we become aware of it and choose to clear and transcend its influences. We call the spiritual path of conscious participation with the clearing family of origin miasma genetic path cutting. When we awaken, we will then need to decide what we want to energetically wear as our personal responsibility, as everything we inherit in our family and the collective human race does not have to become a part of our self-defined identity. As we observe and take responsibility for what we are inhabiting, this is recorded in the cells of our fleshly body, and are accountable to the current life circumstances, then we can participate with healing our genetic and miasmatic relationships that reside as energetic memory in our flesh. In most cases, if you pay attention to the various patterns, attitudes, ideals, emotional intelligence in your current bio-family dynamic, you will know these archetypal patterns extend to other lifetimes, as well as hold relevant information and clues to what you agreed to heal, the types of collective human miasma while you incarnated on planet Earth during the ascension cycle. Planetary miasma. Miasma is synonymous with black, frozen, or dead light, which is generated in damaged morphogenetic fields that acts as distorted blueprints. These distorted blueprints then manifest more dead energy and energetic waste products like toxins, pathogenic microorganisms, or feces to be circulated. Damaged architecture in the planetary field cannot run enough life force current or the proper frequency tone keys, and that damages the earth body further, creating dead wiring and dead spaces. Dead energy spaces are useful to the negative alien agenda as they can be programmed with artificial intelligence technology, which they control, and is why they have an agenda to create phantom and dead spaces. These dead spaces cannot transmit or exchange with living, intelligent energy fields, and ultimately that harms Earth inhabitants by creating digressive mutations such as harmful miasma and disease. Miasma can also be manipulated through technology, and it is manipulated in a variety of ways continually by the negatives to serve their agenda. Miasma patterns can be installed as a software program to run frequencies, recorded specifically to alter DNA, RNA, to generate a specific function or block a specific function when exposed to those same frequencies. If not corrected through observation and clearing, the dead waste product creates disease, sickness, and deterioration of the DNA and its frequency tone keys. If planetary miasma is not cleared and repaired, it infects the brain and nervous system of the planetary grid network, all of the planetary kingdoms, DNA, as well as infecting human beings' DNA. For these reasons and many more, this planet received several quarantines to limit the waste product from infecting the outer rims of nearby dimensions and other planetary worlds through their potential resonating dimensional ketones. As we undergo this shift into higher density, these quarantines are being lifted. We are accessing higher densities, and this requires a threshold of clearing to our personal inherited miasma in order to pass through these quarantine fields. We can do this by holding the highest vibration in our body, mind, and spirit, and keeping focused on loving kindness, compassion, and empathy. Additionally, during this time, it is helpful to become aware of the oldest, largest, and most prevalent source of miasma pattern generated on the earth, the Sora miasm. The Sora miasm is the most ancient and highly devastating accumulative miasma pattern recorded in the DNA of the collective race of humanity. In Greek, the word Sora means itch or scabies, referring to a contagious infestation of the skin. Dr. Hahnemann, the father of homeopathy, describes Sora as one of the oldest diseases in existence. He also referred to Sora as the mother of all disease. All human diseases are stemming from the Sora miasm. Sora causes a vulnerability of tissue, undermines the tissue's resistance to foreign invasion, and lessens the germ-destroying property or immunity possessed by certain cells. Thus, in the macrocosm of the collective consciousness of humanity, the Sora miasm goes back to the timeline and subsequent result of the negative alien invasion of Earth. Sora miasm is connected to the timeline of the fall of humankind, which further resulted in the genetic block that manifested the curse of Yahweh. The curse of Yahweh is humanity's fallen angelic curse of the 666 seal, and the energetic result, which greatly increased satanic forces in the earth. This genetic block forced the soul to reincarnate over and over again on the third-dimensional earth plane, while experiencing a biological form that ages, is susceptible to diseases, and dies. The Sora miasm through the curse of Yahweh is also related to the Sexton matrix, the alien construct used to unplug DNA, which keeps consciousness trapped in low frequency in time while shortening the human lifespan. The Sexton matrix distorts the biological and metabolic time clock to kill the body with aging disease, which leads to bodily decay and other energy blockages in vital organs and glands. The Sexton matrix infection is very important in the original timeline of the human body elemental corruption via unplugging human DNA to be controlled by telluric current and compacted into carbon matter. That relates directly to the collective race Sora miasm. The Sextant matrix functions to degrade the elementals in our body and to encode its corruption into the mitochondria of our cells and DNA template as Soric miasmatic patterns. The Sextant matrix is a part of the advanced biological clock function of the human light body system, which has been tampered with and damaged through Metatronic reversal. The sextant matrix runs Metatronic reversal frequencies in our light body, which compact our consciousness and harm the body, putting the body on the biological time clock of death. Metatronic reversal is the result of electron fields descending into heavily reversed and distorted patterns, such as using proton and electron smashing technologies that split energetic bodies apart. Metatronic reversal technologies are used on the Earth for mind control and creating black holes, which split apart the mental bodies and fragment them into an assortment of diseased states in matter. The assorted combined miasma in matter is able to be sourced directly to the original Sora miasm. Sora miasm further evolved in the human race to sexually related disease miasma, further developing in time into cancer miasma. Sexually related diseases and their miasma are referred to as the sexual misery programming, which involve an artificial mind control program that connects to fallen entities that harvest the collective sexual energetic body of humanity. Also, the sextant matrix is a fallen angelic construct designed as a genetic block that is recorded in our bones, tissue, and skin matrix, which is sourced to the Sora miasm. These areas of the body will be greatly impacted by the shift in density happening to the planet now. This is the time to pay attention to help clear miasma and consciously participate with your body shifting. Sora-related miasm patterns will become extremely prevalent as planetary ascension symptoms begin to surface in the masses. Soric miasm symptoms. The mind, emotions, body, and spirit work together as a whole functioning system, and the miasma patterns are energetic disturbances that are expressed in all 4 layers of the body. The conditions that modify the way the miasm materializes are subjected to many factors, such as environmental exposure and stimulus, climate, toxins and parasites, mental belief systems, motivations of behavior, consciousness, excessive or extreme habits, abuses in life, diet, and various customs or cultural influences. All of these factors, along with the spiritual blueprint, will determine the progression of the pattern of miasm into the physical world, and some patterns may remain dormant until activated. This is why it is a good time to be self-aware and to pay attention to the patterns showing up in your body, as they will lead you to heal the Sora miasm. Usually, a miasma pattern becomes activated through the weak genetic link present in the person's ancestral pattern that is recorded in their family of origin. Miasma patterns surface during serious life-changing events, such as accidents, death of loved ones, spiritual or existential crisis, diagnosis from medical system, moving residence, bankruptcy, etc. For people not aware of their energetic body or miasma as the source of healing their disease pattern, they may choose to exit. The shift to next density activates the miasma record, which exacerbates disease issues materializing in people that are remaining stuck in the lower frequency of telluric matter. The most common characteristic symptoms of Sora are hypersensitivity, experiencing more sensitivity, and experiencing the sensation of lack, a deficiency or absence of something. As the Sora miasm surfaces, we will notice increased sensitivity in the reactivity of the body when exposed to environmental stimulus, to one's surroundings like noise, light, and odors. The body may react to produce functional disturbances like headache, nausea, and feeling uncomfortable in your own skin, sensations of general discomfort. Detoxification of Sora miasm. Starting with a deficiency in the function of the primary organs for and routes of digestion and elimination, Sora expresses itself externally with all types of skin conditions. When improving the elimination pathway of the body, the skin condition and Sora miasm will improve. The main primary elimination channels are the bowels, the liver, the kidneys, the lungs, and the skin. So the first step is to improve every elimination channel in the body to help with detoxification. The body will produce energetic and metabolic waste that translates into physical levels of detoxification that need to move through the elimination channels. When the elimination channels are overloaded, they become inefficient and congested. The toxins are forced into the bloodstream and settle into those organs and tissues which have the least resistance to the toxic waste material. With the need to detoxify, the skin incurs scaly types of rashes or eruptions and may feel dirty, dry, and itchy. The Sora miasm externalizes toxins, and if suppressed topically, it may lead to the manifestation of a serious internal ailment. This is why it is important to try not to suppress external symptoms, as suppression blocks the body's natural attempt to purge toxins out of our skin. Suppression methods may have a direct physiological or toxic effect, but no true healing action. In every chronic disease pattern, there are fundamental pathological factors energetically recorded as miasma in the body, mind, emotions, or spirit. Unless the root cause of the disease pattern is addressed in the deep miasma of the bodies and treated as an energetic blockage, it will never be healed. Sulfur homeopathy is one of the leading remedies in the treatment of psoric conditions. It addresses various chronic conditions that rise from Sora miasm. The centrifugal action of sulfur remedy brings diseases buried deep in the body's internal system to rise to the surface. Sulfur also holds an important role for spiritual alchemy to occur within our body and spiritual consciousness. The natural salt and sulfur mix is deep in the earth, which holds the symbolism of our physical body to unify with the solar plasma light for transfiguration into the eternal gold body. In order to do so, we must prepare our body to be purified with the inner water inner salt, sulfur, and blood through communion with Mother's Holy Spirit and Father's solar fire. The alchemy of our higher consciousness dissolves the lower shadow bodies and impurities such as toxins from the Sora miasm, which are consumed and healed in the powerful plasma light. Sora miasma property. The main cause of disease is toxins or parasites creating energetic blockages in our body and consciousness. These toxins upset the equilibrium of vital force energies and disturb the way vital forces function to circulate life force into the body. When we experience illness, our inner vital force energies attempt to bring our entire body back into balance. Once the body's immune system is stimulated, it has the resources to combat the foreign invader with much more power. Therefore, the homeopathic cure is attributed to an increase in the body's defense against the disease and the defense against the toxins and parasites that help to create it. Our higher consciousness can also neutralize foreign invasion. However, at times, it is productive to help support the physical body's strength by increasing immunity and immune functions. Researching homeopathic remedies and consulting with a trained homeopath, preferably on the ascension path, to address miasma may be extremely helpful during this time to help prepare the body in shifting to the next density. In getting to the deeper source of how the miasmatic properties manifest in our life, here are some general characteristics of the Sora miasm. Characteristic: Sora produces irritation, inflammation, and hypersensitivity. Physical constitution: the Sora tends to make the organism toxic, the skin unhealthy, and perverts the functions of the digestive and eliminative organs. Temperament: Soric temperament is full of philosophical, pseudo-scientific, political, and religious ideas. They may exhibit negative ego traits of self-deception, narcissism, and impractical or unrealistic goals. Pain: Sora may bring itchy, crawling, tickling, and burning sensations. Skin: Sora is dry, rough, and unhealthy. Every small injury is infected, and its lesions may produce itchy discharges or scanty pus. Thank you to all who are actively participating with these consciousness shifts to the next density. Please only take what is useful for your spiritual growth and discard all the rest. Thank you for your courage and bravery to be a truth seeker. I am the cosmic sovereign law made manifest. I am God, sovereign free. Until next, stay in the luminosity of your avatar Christos, Sophia, heart path. Please be kind to yourself and each other with a loving heart.